Uh-oh. I am currently stuck. Switch buckets, and we're gonna put onto the dirt bucket. What I have to do is I'm gonna go back to this pond, or what was a retention pond back here. It has since dried up. I'm gonna dig some dirt up out of it and bring it over to this fence line over here because my calves keep getting out. They just walk right under the fence. So what we're gonna do is try to fill up that fence line a little bit better. I've done it once before, but we're gonna try to put a little bit more dirt in there to see if that holds them back. The quick attach concept is the best thing since sliced bread. She's locked and loaded. Definitely a bog. Uh-oh. I am currently stuck. Get me out of here! Note to self, do not go down in there again. So I'm gonna admit, I thought I was pretty well done back there, but fortunately I was saved by the boom. Something that I hadn't really taken into consideration, just about this machine in general. And this isn't about getting stuck. I was actually just trying to see where the water line was with that retention pond. There used to be water here, but over time the grass has taken over and it's dried up. But I've been digging here because a lot of excess dirt has flown into this retention pond over the years. But I had broken the where the roots were with the grass, and I was spinning around and I kept just digging myself into a bigger and bigger hole. I was about to give up and just go over and get a tractor to pull me out. And that's when I thought, you know, I up to that point I had tried everything that I would have with the typical skid loader with our Bobcat. I stuck the boom down into the ground, the bucket, and I tried, you know, pushing my way out with the bucket. But what I hadn't tried was using the telescopic boom. What I hadn't realized what was happening is that when you point the bucket downward and you stick it into the ground and you use it to kind of leverage yourself out, what you'll do is you'll shove the back end of the machine into the ground. And when you're in a bog like that, typically what's going to happen is the rear end of the machine is going to go down into the ground. And this machine, I will admit, does sit a little bit lower than our Bobcat, I think. At least it does when looking at it from the rear. So what actually saved me there was the boom. I had set it down at an angle, and I didn't have I had originally tried keeping the bucket down like this, but what actually got me out was pointing the bucket forward so that it wasn't shoving the machine actually down and extending the boom out. So it was kind of going at an angle like this to the ground, and that is what pushed me out and what really saved me there. So I'm not going to go back down there again. That's bad news, but I still need to get dirt out of there to go fill up over there. I was trying on this retention pond where the little levee sits. It's been kind of being eroded away by rain. I don't know whether it overflowed at one point, but there's a ditch on the far side of it. So I had driven up to it and tried to dump some of that grass and dirt into that other side. And that's when I had tried backing up and spinning around, and that's when I dug myself into the hole. So it is still pretty wet under there, which isn't a surprise. But I'm going to go ahead and keep dumping dirt into that fence line. I had filled up a little ditch right here going into the retention pond. I think I'm pretty well done messing with this. We're going to go to the retention pond in the back, and I know that there's a couple ditches back there. I want to smooth those out, and then we're going to head down into the pasture with the rock bucket and try moving around some of those loose trees just to open it up a little bit so the mower can get in. The more that we can mow and the more that I can access means more grass. With the brush growing up out in the pasture, that's really just acreage that we're losing. We're not getting any benefit out of it. So the more grass that we can get growing, the better. And by having the Rhino Ag equipment around, it's really helped us open up the pastures. And this is just a multi-step process into opening everything up. So let's go ahead and continue dumping some dirt into that fence line. just hooked up the Vernig rock bucket. I'm gonna head out to the pasture and try to move some trees around. There's some stumps and logs out there that just need to be pushed out of the way. And then that should be about it for what I'm doing today. It is still pretty wet, but unfortunately once it dries up, I'm not totally sure how much time I'm gonna have to come out here and be able to do it. So now's the time. Let's head out there. We just got done with the JCB Teleskid and it performed wonderfully. Having this thing, I mean, with the tracks, they're especially nice because you don't really have to watch out for things like locust trees as much as you do with wheels. There really isn't much of a concern about popping a tire when you have tracks. So that really helps us access a little bit more out in the pastures, especially since with the Bobcat, we've always been afraid to go around too many of those locust trees because if you go anywhere near them or under them, there's a good chance that you're gonna wind up with flat tire. But the tracks overall are really nice for stability as well. And there was a couple times there when I was on a downhill slope and I was lifting a full load, and that's when it started to get a little bit tipsy. Which is way past the threshold of any skid loader that I've been in before. Now the 2-speed in this machine is pretty nice. Having the ability to switch between gears really helps for, like, let's say you want to do a little bit more accurate movement. You can fine-tune the controls to your liking. So all in all, I really like the JCB so far. We've been putting it through the ropes. I've done literally everything that I can think of with this machine, and it's passed all the tests that I've put it through, both on camera and off. So several people in the last video showed concern about the pins and bushings on this machine. From what I did with it, I mean, I was jerking it around pretty hard today and previously. I just didn't really see, at least in the time that I've had it, any real worries that I would have about this machine. Just a piece of dirt. So all in all, I am really satisfied with the one-arm design. I think that in the next few years that a couple other skid loader manufacturers probably will or should come up with their own extending design. And I'm not saying this against JCB or anything, but I think that JCB does have what is going to be the future as far as boom design. You never really realize how many times when you're in a skid loader you think, boy, if only this thing extended, until you get in one of these things. My first time in it was a little bit of a revelation that I had, because I was just sitting there and I'm like, it would be nice if I could reach out a little bit farther. And you think it several times when you're using these things, especially when you're cleaning out pastures and stuff. By being able to extend the boom, you're really capable of pushing all of the brush and everything that might be a danger to the cab away from you, which JCB does, I heard, come up with, or have like cage designs for their teleskids as well. Or I think they have cages that you can mount right on here. And I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with it so far. We're going to keep using it. So with that, I'll let you all go. If you guys have any other questions, comment down in the comment section, and I'll try to address as many as I can. With that, thanks for watching this video, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other ones. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All how farms work. And be sure to give a round of applause to our cameraman, Jesse, over there, who was taking care of business for me while I was taking care of business in the pasture. Thanks for watching, guys.